Hey, hello, I am live. It has a little thing at the bottom that says you are live, so you know. Good evening, everyone. Maybe one of you. I don't know how many people are out there. There's a little chat thing on the side. If you want to say hello, say hello. Welcome to the second doctor's appointment. I did one of these. I just was trying to do something because that's what we're doing right now. We're just trying to generate, connection. I decided to do one, and it went well. And here we are with the second one. And now that we're up and running, we're going to explore topics, I think. So if you have topics, throw them out there. And I am here as a non-expert to talk about a couple of things. Last chat, which is the first chat, my friend Kita asked me a question. She said, how do you stay sane during all of this, the pandemic, the quarantining, the staying indoors? And that's what we're going to talk about today. So pull up a drink, pull up a chair, pull up your laptop or phone, or whatever you're watching me on, and let's go. I'm stalling just a tiny bit so people have a chance to log on. So how do I stay sane? How do any of us? And we're going to talk about anxiety today because sanity, for me, my particular hiccup is anxiety. Fortunately, the primary form that my anxiety takes is social anxiety. That is the fear of being in crowds of people. Someone is logged in as their child. That's true. It's my good friend Max's mom. So yes, I have social anxiety, and this is perfect for that because there is no social. You would think, didn't you run giant live events full of people for 15 years in New York? And the answer is yes, I'm stupid. But, that's how that goes. I did, in fact, do that for a while. So social anxiety is off the table. Yay, I get to not be in crowds. However, there's so many horrible things going on in the real world that we've replaced my social anxiety with the anxiety that I'm sure you are feeling as well. Fear of death, disease, bankruptcy, homelessness, just going mad inside. Hey, everybody, I got good news for you. This is my co-star, the lovely Archie. Hi, Archie. Say hi to everybody. This is Archie. So new anxiety, and how do we deal with it? And let me say, because this is important, this is a disclaimer. My name is Doc. I am a fake doctor. Therefore, do not take anything I have to say as any kind of actually trained advice. No, this is just speculation on the part of your friend, because everybody on this thing, everybody watching this is somebody I already know. It's, there's no following. It's just friends. So here's some thoughts. That's really what it is. And if you have thoughts too, if you're like, no, I think you're wrong, here's how I handle anxiety, just let me know. That's how we go. So, you're not a real doctor. How do you have any ability whatsoever to say anything? And I'm going to tell you a story. Many, many years ago, I worked at something called a video store. Younger friends, you can ask. My outfit is everything. Yes, it is. Younger friends, ask your older friends what a video store is. Long ago, Netflix existed in buildings, and it was horrible. And you had to go and spend several hours wandering the aisles with your friend, trying to find something to watch. And in the end, you gave up and you would rent Monty Python's Holy Grail. That's what a video store was. And I worked at one called Gramophone Video in New Canaan, Connecticut, during high school and for one really bad post-college year where I moved home for a week and stayed for 6 months. Anyway, so one night we would watch while we worked these shifts. We would watch all the videos available in the store. And we would go through crap, too, because you were like, well, I'm bored. We watched everything good. What else can we watch? And one night we were working and we put on... Oh, can you see this? The camera blew it out. Angela Lansbury's Positive Moves. Yes, it's the 1988 Angela Lansbury workout video. It's amazing. And it turns out it's on YouTube. You can Google it or YouTube search it and find Angela Lansbury's Positive Moves. There was a big workout video trend in the 80s. Everybody had a workout video, and they asked Angela Lansbury to do one. Being an older woman, she's like, I don't actually work out. And they were like, well, just do what you do. So if you get a chance to watch the Angela Lansbury Positive Moves, it consists mostly of Angela Lansbury walking around her house, moving her arms around, because that was the only exercise she got. So not actually trained to do an exercise video, and she did one anyway. And that is my inspiration. I am not a doctor, but I'm going to give you advice anyway. much like the great Dame Angela Lansbury would. So here we go. How I cope with anxiety. Number one, I'm not going to pretend I'm not who I am. Booze. I don't break there. I'm not sure that's the smartest thing. I think there's obviously, Angela Lansbury was a snack in her day. She was indeed. She's in one of my favorite movies, The Court Jester with Danny Kaye. It's a brilliant, brilliant movie, and she is the sinister frenemy. I don't know, watch it. It's great. So booze, and if you don't drink, maybe you smoke things that are legal now. So, maybe you smoke weed. I don't, but that's a coping mechanism for anxiety. But I have plenty of friends who don't drink anymore, don't smoke, and don't imbibe in things. So we're going to put that one to the side, and we're going to start with a couple of steps. Number one, use your words. So we have a rule in my house, Nancy and I, which is if you are having an anxiety day, you have to say so, or you get to say so, really from your point of view. So you walk up to your partner, the person you live with, and you just say, hey, I want you to know I'm having a really bad anxiety day. What this does is it saves your relationship a little bit, because if you're keeping it inside and you're not verbalizing it, eventually you crack during the day, and then it could turn into a really big fight. But if the other person is aware that you're already on pins and needles, it just smooths the road. So just do that. Like, if you don't have a partner, if you live alone, say it out loud anyway. I am having a bad anxiety day. Verbalizing helps a lot of things, and I recommend it for all kinds of emotional states. But if you say it, you know what's happening. If you say it to yourself, you're admitting what's happening. So step number one is always verbalize. And sometimes I'll say it to Archie. I'll turn down to Archie. He's right here still. And I will say, having a bad anxiety day, bud. And that's how that goes. Number two, this is pretty simple. Breathe. I mean, everybody's going to tell you that. What's really interesting is when you actually start to do correct breathing, you'll realize, oh, no, that's what they meant. So I actually have an app. I have an app called I Breathe. I was going to show it to you on my phone, but it occurs to me that the camera can't pick this stuff up. I Breathe does one of those countdown things with a pulse, and you hold your breath for such and such a count, exhale, inhale. I love it. I actually used it right before I hit play on the live feed tonight because I was having anxiety today. I'm practicing what I preach. I actually had a really bad day today. It has a really bad voice, so I turn the sound off and I just watch the visual. There got to be tons of apps, but I like that pulse thing where it shows you what the breath is supposed to be. I'm a very visual person. So breathe, very, very good. And moving past that is, I don't know how many of you out there meditate. I don't meditate really, but a friend signed me up for a meditation of the day thing, a 21-day meditation program, my friend Natasha. And I just finished that and I gave it a go. And it was, meditations and stuff. And I actually really liked it. And even if you don't believe in the spiritual aspect or cultural aspect of meditation, the idea that in the sort of hectic world that you take a break for whatever it was, I think it was 15 minutes each time, and maybe you just like lie down or sit in your chair or go in a dark place and listen to something. Listen to a meditation. There's tons of them on Spotify and every other damn thing. So meditation, I'm new to that, so I'm not an expert, but I find it really helps a lot with the anxiety. I went through the program. I ran out of tapes. I also found those playlists. I went through like 9 playlists of like meditation music, and some of them are very irritating, and some of them are pretty cool. So do that. That'll help a little bit. But sometimes to be in a calm state is not where you are. Your anxiety is so hyper that that you can't get to that calm space. So no amount of breathing or meditation is going to help. So number 3 is dance party. I do not dance in public. I used to go to dance clubs when I was a teenager in the 80s, which meant that I wore a big trench coat and motorcycle boots. And that basically hid my body and my feet so that I just clumped around like an 80s guy to new wave music and like the Bauhaus. So that shouldn't be done in public now, but I'm a big fan of dancing when no one is watching. So I like to dance around the house. And now that I have a dog, or perhaps you have a cat or a child, or you can actually dance in front of another human being, Big fan of a dance party, especially if you're having anxiety and you just sort of can't contain your own energy. Just get up there and hit it. By choice, I love funk. I think there's no better thing to dance to than funk music. Obviously, if you're a real dancer, you might have different opinions, but I love funk, so I'm going to go with that. But my current favorites, which are not funk, I Go to Rio by Pablo Cruz is absolutely the top one this week. We've been dancing to that with Archie. And I also love I Don't Feel Like Dancing by Scissor Sisters because it's delightful and also about not wanting to dance. So ironic. So dance party, try to burn off that energy. If you are an in-shape person, you might do some kind of exercise thing. I am not one of those, so I don't do that. Oh, wine. There we go. Number 4. So number 4 is I already talked about. It's substances. So not news. I'm not bringing anything that you haven't tried. But I will say this: I have recently started getting CBD gummies. Do they work? Are they a placebo? I don't know. I don't even care. There's a company. I don't know if you're allowed to show this kind of stuff online, so I'll just say that Balance CBD. It's a mail-order joint. They're super nice, and the gummies taste good. But I've been using those because, again, the anxiety's been really bad. Liz says 100% works. CBD is saving me. Yeah, I get they send me a big old bag of it's a whole bunch of them. It lasts a month, and I just keep getting them. And we also have a recommendation for CBD Distillery or CB Distillery. So yeah, I'm a convert, and I use them a lot now. And again, I'm not interested in the other aspects of drugs, but CBD, come on, it just takes the edge off. Or I'm lying to myself. But Liz says I'm not, so okay. So that's big. Do what you got to do. So the next thing, moving along, anxiety techniques. So I don't want to pretend, and I know, Allison, you're on here. If you have kids, my advice is almost useless because there's no way you're going to be able to self-care while somebody's clamoring for your attention. So if anything I say is helpful, great. But if you have, as a parent, anything to contribute, that is an area I have no expertise, and I will read out anything you have to say on the matter. But this is you're home, you're in quarantine, you don't maybe have somebody trying to get your attention all day. So we will move on. Sofa time. So there you are. You have your CBD. Maybe you have some wine. You've just had a dance party with your dog. I am a big. Archie's upset because there's a dog in the car. I don't like those. So I spent a lot of time here at the beautiful aquamarine sofa of love, adjacent to the Juan Epstein Memorial Schoolyard Memorial. Archie, you're harsh on my mellow, bud. I have a weighted blanket. I swear by these things. I think they're amazing. It's like a hug from a blanket, and if you have a kid, weed makes anxiety worse. Yeah, I don't do weed, but dance parties, absolutely. Weighted blanket is phenomenal. If you don't have a weighted blanket, get every blanket and coat you have in the house. And Archie's mad. Hi, bud. And just pile them on. Remember you're a little kid and your parents have a cocktail party and all the coats are in the bedroom? Just climb under there. That's fine. But weighted blanket, yes. Yes. How do you have anxiety? Right now. You're like the test subject. As we speak, you are having a hard time. Are you okay, bud? Huh. Okay. Well, he's having a hard time, and we would like him to feel better. Poor Archie. Actually, the people are saying hi. Okay, I don't want to. Thank you. I don't want to get into the strain of weed because it's not my thing. I literally don't know what I'm talking about. But yes, my guess is this: all of you do know. I don't. So weighted blanket. That's my thing. In addition to my weighted blanket, I have my Superman blanket. Superman blanket. What is that? Nancy can estimate it for me as a gift. It is made up of all of my old Superman T-shirts that I no longer wear, that she was stealing or borrowing or taking with permission and huddling. And she made it. It's a quilt with the Superman shirts on it, and it is emotionally the same thing as the weighted blanket. And I actually have it on the sofa all the time. Archie loves it. It's now sort of Archie's. He gets a little upset if I'm sitting. He wants to sit on my lap, and I don't have it. Hey, bud. And really. So weighted blanket, emotionally weighted blanket, big fan on the sofa. And what do you do when you're on the sofa? You watch Columbo. That's not entirely necessarily going to be the case. For me, Columbo's, I'm going to tell you about Columbo and me. So, Columbo is a show that was on for a very long time. It consists of two parts. 1968 to 1978, it was this amazing show. And then there's some other ones they made in the 80s and 90s, and we ignore those. They don't count. The 1968 to 1978 Columbos were one of my grandmother's favorite shows. And she would watch it and put me down for a nap. So I would sleep, half sleep, nap, while Columbo was on. And then I was growing up, Columbo was a regular feature on Sunday afternoons on UHF stations in the area. So I would have a Sunday afternoon and be lazy and maybe take a nap with Columbo on. And then later on, when I moved out on my own and in my 20s and I have an apartment, A&E ran Columbo. And I would maybe be home from work and take a nap while Columbo was on. So when I'm having anxiety, I will put on Columbo episodes. There's only a couple of dozen, and I know them all by heart. That's the point. Your Columbo doesn't literally need to be Columbo. Find that thing. Maybe it's music, but if it's a TV show, there's a plot, there's comforting voices of actors there's lines of dialogue you can quote in your sleep. It takes the edge off for me. So, on those really bad days, I'm huddled up here like a crazy person underneath my weighted blanket and maybe my Superman blanket, and I got a CBD gummy and a thing of wine, and Columbo's on, and it makes it all, it's like fetal position comfort for me. But again, whatever your version of my Columbo thing is, that's amazing. Also, Columbo was created by Levinson and Link, Richard Levinson and William Link. They're also the people who created Murder, She Wrote. So we have a connection here. We have the Angela Lansbury workout video, and we have Columbo. By the way, there's Archie, and he's climbing under the Superman blanket. So that's that. Also, if you happen to have a hammock in your living room, I strongly advise it. I hear that not everyone has a hammock in their living room, but I would say that. Think about getting one. The next one, number 7, is reach out, and that's what I'm doing right now. You're watching it. You're watching me reach out. That's what we're doing, and I think, what is it, a zillion apps, and I there's some virtual cocktail parties and hangouts and all kinds of stuff. I had a friend who actually had a problem with it the other day. Maybe there's an ego-driven aspect of it, and maybe there is, like me talking at you instead of with you. Maybe that's a problem. But I would say that if you're feeling isolated right now, and maybe you have social anxiety like I do, so it's really hard to pick up the phone or FaceTime or whatever, I would suggest doing it anyway. Like text somebody and say to them, hey, you want to do a FaceTime thing right now? Because if you're waiting for someone to call you, it might not happen. And if you're waiting to be comfortable with the damn thing, it might not happen. Or if you do vague plans like, hey, let's get together this week. Nobody has a sense of time right now. So just let people, you have to maybe start it. So I will say this, you are your own best advocate for reaching out right now. Try to be kind. Everybody's scared. Everybody's having a horrible time. So if people are being snipey and grouchy and they aren't being the kind of friend you want them to be right now, consider that maybe they're going through what you're going through as well. And, we're not at our best. So try to give everybody a little bit of kindness and slack if you can. And maybe you reach out to them instead of hoping they reach out to you, and maybe it'll all work out. My dog is desperately trying to burrow into the weighted blanket now. We're going to Superman blanket him up. Okay, so that's this. So I have notes. That's how I know what I'm doing. Okay, so guys, none of this is going to... Oh, my brother says his Columbo is lots of Star Trek and Cheers. I will say this. If I'm not watching Columbo, some kind of Star Trek is on in our house 24/7. Very much. I think Star Trek is a wallpaper in our house, like just next gen. Oh, and Picard tonight. Picard finale is tonight, by the way. Anybody you watching that? And if you're not, I think CBS All Access made it all available, so you don't even have to subscribe now. I think you can watch it for free. So talking about kindness and everything, that's sort of my advice for anxiety. And again, I'd love to hear your advice too. And if I do another one of these, if you'd like to, let me know. We'll talk about some other stuff too. I want to talk about an example of this. I want to talk about the best kindness and leadership I've seen on a personal connection level at all. I would like to talk about Joe's Pizza. I have a friend, my family has a friend Lorenzo Colella, and he is the owner, proprietor of Joe's Pizza in New Canaan, Connecticut. And I've known Lorenzo since his parents owned Joe's. I've known him almost his whole life. And he is one of the kindest, funniest, nicest people you could ever meet. And he's doing this thing. He owns a pizzeria and he sells pizza. And so, like a lot of restaurants right now, he's doing curbside and everything. And he started a thing where if you call that pizzeria or Venmo that pizzeria, he will sell you a large pizza, like for $10. And then on your behalf, he will deliver that pizza to people in the service industries right now and the first responders who aren't eating right now. So literally over the last week, he's been delivering dozens and dozens of pizzas to supermarket staff, to police and EMS people. It's absolutely spectacular. I've never seen anything like it. You can. I'm going to put up his info right here. I got this right. Is that backwards? Oh, did I do it? There we go. I got it backwards. I tried to do it right. Well, I'll tell you what. If you take a look, on the phone number is 966-2226. That is in New Canaan, Connecticut. And you call the pizzeria, and he's going to answer the phone because he does not have enough staff right now. And I'll give you his Venmo. I'm going to put all this stuff on my Instagram. So do me a favor and just check out my Instagram at Doc Moran. And I'll put the info up there. But $10, you'll get a $20 pizza, and you don't get it. He gives it to other people, and he's been covering everybody. But here's what I also love: he's a pizzeria. He's been offering sort of questions to see what if I sold fresh fruit? People aren't getting that. And then he did roasted chickens, and he's feeding his community in an incredibly friendly way. Thank you. 203-966-2226. I don't know if that's not going to work either. Thank you, honey. So anyway, Joe, there we are. Thanks. That works. There we go. Fantastic. So there's your information. Follow him on Joe's Pizza LLC over on Instagram, just because he's delightful. He's just the kindest, nicest man I've ever known. And I can't speak highly of him enough. And just what he's doing. And even if you aren't interested in the pizza or the donating of pizza, he's a great example of what do we do right now? I mean, I'm going on and babbling here, and he's feeding people. So great dude, fantastic thing. So that's today's episode. I don't know. I certainly was a little babbly. I don't know if you enjoyed it or not. Let me know. And let me know what else, another topic we can cover. I'm going to keep doing these if people want me to, and I might make a couple other videos too. So thank you so much. I hope everybody's doing all right. Stay safe, stay indoors, watch Picard, and I will check in with everybody later. Thank you so much. I got to kiss you.